So, hey, Sam, great to talk to you and connect with you.
Likewise, my friend. How's it
Thank
going,
you.
Alan?
So we're talking here to Sam Gembel from Atlas Outdoor, who is in, is the address your township Heartland? Heartland?
I live in Heartland, but our business is based in the Flint, Michigan area. So most people probably would recognize Flint more than Heartland. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I've been with Sam, spent some time with Sam, an amazing guy, a great company, and a great story. So it's just thought it'd be great to check in on you. We're checking in on different people in our industry, in the outdoor lifestyle industry, see what's going on, see how you're surviving this, and tell us a little bit about that. So why don't you kick off by telling us a little bit about your company, what you do, kind of size of the company, a little bit of history.
Yeah. So first and foremost, it's awesome that we're actually able to use technology. You know, I'm a firm, like fist bump, high five and hugging son of a gun. And so this is difficult for me. So we'll end with like a virtual fist bump.
We will.
Done. But, you know, I will say that I have like a love-hate relationship with technology. I'm excited that we can do this and we can connect in two different countries per se, but it's pretty awesome. So, but yeah, it's a little bit about me. So thank you for the introduction there. So my name is Sam, as he said. We operate a company in the greater Flint, Michigan area. We have about 75 employees total. It kind of varies between 75 and 100, depending on the time of year. Kind of a third split between maintenance and construction, design, build, and snow. So, you know, for this pandemic that we're going through, really we were kind of in like a transition of 2 seasons. So, and for a lot of people, especially I think really all across North America, it was kind of a light winter. So at least in Michigan, can't speak for the rest of the snow fighters of the world, but at least here
it was I think it was lighter.
It was a lighter year. Yeah. So we were kind of excited to kick the spring season off almost even a little early this year, because things were looking like the weather was kind of starting to change. And ironically, about 2 months ago, so I'm going to go back to probably the end of February, early March, we had attended like a committee meeting that was put on by our bank. And they're very, very involved in the community, very involved in Michigan, really all over North America. And they were just telling us about how powerful our economy was here in the States, and how unemployment was basically at zero. I think the rate was like 3%, which they basically deem as zero. And so there was no unemployment, but they did mention countless times how the coronavirus was impacting China. And they must have mentioned this 25 times. And in my mind, I mean, I had heard about it. But I'll be honest, never would have ever thought it was going to make its way to North America, to Canada, to Michigan, to the US, really all around the world. I thought this was something that a dude
it's far away.
Exactly. A guy ate a bat, and I didn't take it back to my team. We didn't talk about it. Wow. We were literally prepping for the season. And so we started to build up kind of our design build backlog going, at the end of 2019 going. And then it really started because the weather was not horrible. Like even in February, we had snow stuff going on, but we were starting to fill up our backlog.
Wow.
Even then kind of getting the season going, and we're in our mind, like we're going, man, we've already got, a third of our season on the books.
Got it.
This is going to be a crazy year.
Yes.
And I mean, it was like overnight, like a light switch got flipped. And, I think New York was one of the first areas here in the States to really get hit. And I mean, and just like that, it was like a wildfire, and everybody. So I was actually the first dose of reality that I saw here for us was at our my life group from church. One of the great guys on our life group, he's a principal for one of the schools here in our area. And so we were really getting kind of the inside. So they had not canceled schools yet. It had not gotten that far yet. And of course, every Thursday morning we meet, and all of us in the life group are like asking him, his name's Dave. We're like, Dave, what's going on with school?
What's the inside track?
Yeah. Give us the inside. And you could tell that it was getting deep, but
Okay.
he's like, man, it's not at that point, it was kind of like, well, if one of the students or one of the teachers catches it,
Yes.
they're going to cancel school.
Yes.
And he says, really, it's not if, it's when.
When.
And I'm not kidding you. I think that Thursday night, they canceled school that Friday.
Wow.
And, acted like, all right, how long is this going to last for? And, that was back in March. And it just kind of cascaded from there.
Yeah.
So that was really the first, and again, we weren't really thinking a whole lot. We had 2 crews. So our season, again, we weren't full bore, nothing like that. We had 2 crews that we had brought back off of the winter time, and we had started a couple of design build projects. And so those crews, and we have, we're building a new facility right now. Alan, I know you saw that.
Yes, indeed. Been watching it online.
So we've got this
awesome,
beautiful building being built, and it's like there's so much going on. You kind of get in denial, like, how is this really going to change things, right? And you could just feel the heat be more and more turned up as the schools are now canceled, and but it wasn't as crazy where everybody's working from home, but that was the very first thing in our business where we started was the ladies that work in our office were like, why couldn't you work remotely? Do you really need to, come into the office every day? It was kind of slow. So we got them set up to be able to answer the phones remotely, which was a good start. And then my wife, who is our main, person in from our HR department, she's in the office and she's now at home with the kids. So we're like, all right, well, you've got to be, we didn't have any shelter mandates or anything like that. And so this is like the beginning of it. So now it started with our office staff. And, so they're working remotely, but we still had our couple crews working in the field because we didn't feel like it had gotten that far
I
yet.
understand completely. You can still work. We can still
work. We're still working. Yeah, we're still working. And I wish I would have kept, track of the dates, but I feel like it's been about a month now.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Since that kind of began. So we, it got to the point to where I'm like, all right, the office is working from home. I'm talking to them. And, we're not getting really many calls coming in. It was really quiet. So I said, something just gave me the discernment that we needed to shut down any production that was going on. So it went from office goes remote. The 2 crews that were working in the field, we said, we kind of need to lay low for now. So then we went to that. But then we still had our operations team coming in. So, the office has still got people in. And it really then the social distancing was, I hate to even say, it was almost a joke. It was almost like,
I understand.
You're far enough away.
I think this is very, very reflective of everybody's experience, to be honest.
It was fun. We were like,
we're okay.
No fist bumps, no, we can't, virtual high fives. We're not, but it wasn't at the point like it is now today.
Absolutely.
And, so we went on like that for probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks or so. And at that point, I could just feel, just because the mandate took
shutting
place,
down.
that we finally got to the point to where we started having all of our our operational team work from home. And now is when the essential mandate started to kick in. So it was deemed then that we could have our staff work that was responsible for like maintaining
maintenance.
So we said, all right, we have 3 full-time fleet mechanics, and we said, all right, guys, you guys can continue to work, but just keep apart from each other. And I'll tell you, I think that went on for about 3 days, and the numbers just continued to just
drop.
In Michigan, like all of the COVID cases were going up, and I said, all right, I just had the piece then that they needed to just lay low, and we really didn't know when we were going to be able to go back to work. And so those guys, we battened down the hatches, we locked down the facility, blocked the gates, and just sent everybody home. And so really from there, that was kind of like the end of all, and that was Friday. So we're in the new week now. We're going on about 3 weeks for that now that we've been just completely shut down. I think the date we used was March 23rd was like our final day.
Got it. Okay.
March 23rd, we kind of said, lock it down. And from there,
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure what you say will resonate with a lot of people. The same process of thought, where
Yeah,
first it was a lot of people I've seen a lot of people connections I have saying, I can't remember the exact terms, but they said something like, first of all it was denial, then
yeah,
it was kind of
yeah,
frustration, then it was anger, like, oh, this is going to be a
it
great
was.
year, why
Yeah,
me? And then eventually it's a bit like grief, they say, then it's acceptance, some
yeah,
acceptance, and then it's adapting
yeah,
to the new reality, and then kind of thinking forward in a different way. So I think what you said just reflects all of that. And I think
yeah,
a lot of people's experience has actually been the same. And I think that's what's very unique about this current crisis, that basically everybody's in the same boat. So it's not like you tell your story to somebody and they
yeah,
go,
yeah. We're no different. Yeah,
wow,
we're no
that's
different. Yeah,
that's a crazy story. It's like,
I know.
yeah, yeah, I hear you, which is great, right?
The toilet paper memes on Facebook
There
were
you
like
go.
really funny at first,
Nah,
but
yeah.
now like you legitimately you can't find toilet paper, right? So it's like, oh my
It's
goodness, now you
not funny
can't. Now that
anymore.
it's not funny when you become it. It was really funny for us. Like
Yeah.
we never we had like the last little batch of TP, and we actually had a vacation planned for spring break down in
Yes.
Florida, and Florida seems to be about 2 weeks behind us. It seems
Yes.
like Florida's kind of running. So we literally waited till the last, like, is before we canceled our trip. We waited until we were supposed to leave on a Wednesday. Literally, we canceled our trip Tuesday and said, you know what, like it just got too
Oh, I know.
heated.
I know.
We finally, but yeah, so it was funny. We were not low on TP. Like we took some that we had at the office, and then like about a week and a half ago, my wife says to me, she goes, Sam, like I'm not being funny, like we're
We're
really
getting
gonna run
low.
out of TP. Like we really are gonna run out, and like you can't find it. And
That's
it was
insane.
funny. She goes to Costco, and she sends me a picture like, look what I found. It was like this. I never would
Gold.
have thought. I know,
Yeah.
and it's so funny that is like really a thing, but it's really a thing. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
So
yeah,
it's funny. So tell us now. Let's move on to how you're kind of coping. Just a little bit about how you're coping now, because I definitely have seen. I'm connected with you online, and I've seen you. Having I think it's mostly remotely now, so it's mostly
yeah.
Zoom calls with your team, because you've got this team of managers. So tell us a little bit about that, and what your objective is by doing that. What do you hope to achieve by having presumably scheduled kind of weekly kind of chats and stuff like that?
Yeah. As we began to, how I've kind of deemed, put our hurricane shutters up, as you don't want to wait till the very, so when we started to kind of realize the certainty of everything, actually, or the uncertainty of everything, as we were prepping, for us, and especially, for me personally, because we have this team, and our culture has always been about our people. So more so than ever, once we kind of started to, lay our team, or I guess extend kind of our layoff that we were going through coming out of the winter time. We basically, as part of our put the hurricane shutters up, the first week, I would say, after we were on full layoff, was really, really crazy, for me and my wife, because as we're trying to make sure we're doing everything to protect our business, to protect our cash flow, to protect everything. So we kind of just came up with what we thought were going to be like, all right, here's our number one thing was, all right, how much money do we have in the bank, and how long are we going to be able to sustain, knowing we don't know when we're going to be able to go back to work.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
step one for us was really like reaching out to all of our clients from the wintertime that had balances with us, and
Yes.
said, hey, like we were
Hoard
very
cash.
transparent. Yeah. Like, hey, we need to collect. And it's funny, we talk about how characters are revealed in times of a crisis. We've actually learned that with customers I thought would have been really, really, hey, we get it, you're a small business, we want to help. Like we've actually had client, and we have to be, open-minded about it too. But a lot of people that we talked about, what they valued the most is really coming to fruition. during a crisis. So, we have some customers that still have some hefty balances from the wintertime, which stinks. But, I think we'll be remembered when this does. I don't think they're going to actually screw us. I sure hope not.
No.
But so our first thing was basically collecting all of our money, trying to just, all right, clients, this is what we're doing. We're laying our team off. And it was awesome to see and even today, how many of our clients said, man, is there any way, I can prepay for services for the year? Is there any way, we've been a long time client of yours. What can I do? And little stuff like that was just amazing to help kind of our initial cash flow.
I wanted to jump in for a second and say that I seen you posted on Facebook a screenshot. One of your clients did, I'm paraphrasing, something like, hey, Sam, hope you're doing okay. Here's the money for a contract, wherever it was. It doesn't really matter what the money was. It doesn't matter if it's $100 or $1,000 as far as I'm concerned. It was the act of kindness and empathy. And they said, here's our money. We know this is going to go, we're going to get through this. We're figuring you could do with some help, and here's some money. Even though you're not going to do any work right now. And I thought that was, it showed incredible kind of empathy, compassion, customer loyalty, and kind of a partner-centric relationship where it's not just like, it's my supplier, whatever, I don't really care. So they see that customer sees you and your company as people, rather than just like a big and I think that's, when I kind of psychoanalyze that a little bit myself, I was thinking, that's a testament to them, great compassion. It's also a testament to how you develop your company, you and your company develop relationships with people. I thought it was a good reflection of that. So it's what you put out there has come back to you now. So I think that's
I believe, and actually it was kind of, it's been an outpouring of blessings, but we had another one today. I received a text from a client that said, hey, is there anybody at your office? And I said, no, we're completely shut down. And he said, well, just so you know, I'm putting $500 in the mail today for you guys as kind of a Kickstarter to get and I'm just like, man, that guy's bill every month is probably a couple $100. But for him just to want to do that, like, it's the kind of stuff like that. Like even as we're prepping our season to get our crews on the road, which will be hopefully sooner than later, like those customers are going to get top priority. They're going to have to get, these guys that were there for us and customers that were there for us. And I tell them, hey, I can't thank you enough. And they're like, it's the least that we could do back. You guys have always been there for us.
So it's a reflection.
Awesome. But so that, so as far as, the communication side, we essentially have two levels of communication. One internally, which is with our team, letting them know, good news, bad news, no news, this is what's going on. And we formed kind of it's not a noted committee, but it's kind of like a communication committee with our team where each person, again, we have roughly about 75, 80 employees, on the board right now. Really just kind of a chain where, all right, you're going to keep up with these people. You're going to keep up with these people.
That keeps people busy as well, right?
It does.
They're still managing.
Exactly. Yep. So, and it's more so, it's not managing in the field. It's more like crisis management.
It's people.
And it is.
Helping people. People want to hear that,
Yep. And it's pretty awesome for me, as an owner. I'll get an email sent to me that says, hey, I spoke to this person, and this person. And ironically, as it's supposed to be right now, the government's made unemployment, they've extended unemployment, they've done all this. We actually still have quite a few people that are not getting unemployment, and we have tried. Like my wife is our our HR manager, and I hear her on the phone. It's like every 30 minutes she's logged on and she's like, hey, such and such is still not getting it, he's got 3 kids, what can we do? And really for us, like, we went out and delivered gift cards to team members, and we've kind of, so it really has just been, again, about what you value most.
What you can do. People.
Our team is gonna but we couldn't do it by ourselves, and that's where, like, that communication committee, they're saying, hey, this guy, he's afraid to reach out to you, Sam, but he's not getting any unemployment. Is there anything we can do? And from there, we take it from there and just make sure, because at some point when this passes, and it will pass,
of course,
people will remember that.
And I think they're great. And I think what you've by your description of, and I knew this would happen, by you describing how you're communicating will
Yeah.
give people watching this video kind of some ideas and just some inspiration to say,
So,
if they're doubting whether
yeah.
they should reach out or they don't want to bother people, no, get people involved. Like people
So
want to be involved.
There's different levels. There's the
course.
people, there's the owners that,
Yeah.
that are right there. It's, again, it comes back to whatever you value most. But then there's the other ones that are just kind of afraid of reality.
Yes.
And they go hide in a corner.
They're in a bunker. Yes.
Yeah, they're in a bunker. It's like your house is on fire. You don't go put yourself in a closet and wait. You gotta
see what's going on, right?
Exactly. So so really, going from I'm a big time goal guy. Like I'm all about 1 day, 3 day, 5 day, 5 years. And for me personally, it's been we're literally 24 hours at a time. What do we need to do today that is the next right thing?
Absolutely. I just spoke to somebody just to jump in that point again, and spoke to a lighting professional yesterday, nice guy, Scott Sim, and he was just explaining that, for one of his things he's big on is trying to stick to a routine.
The rhythm.
So
the rhythm.
Everybody, it's a rhythm. It's a great word for it. So he's trying to say, right, okay, I'm not going to spend all night on my computer, because you don't want to do that. You want to try if you can. That's difficult because it's a different environment, and your mind is being pulled with the information out there, the fake news, the good news, the bad news. And he was saying, no, I try to get, start at X time, finish at Y time, and that's it. I'm just trying to say, right, okay, but a routine is important because we're routine people, right?
Oh yeah.
We're used to kind of every day, as you said, goals, 1, 3, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years, So here's a question just to kind of round it all off. What you've spoken about today has been incredibly valuable. I just know people are going to get a great bit of value out of it, so I appreciate that. So for you personally, you and your family, how are you kind of coping on a day-to-day basis with it? Kids aren't at school. You've got the same problems as a lot of people. Everybody's living together, going a bit stir crazy. So how are you kind of coping with that?
Yeah, I will say on a personal level, we come back to rhythms. I'm making sure I'm still getting my personal growth time, but it's just with different things now.
Yeah.
But I can say, I think if one thing I would take away personally on this is I think I became a better dad. Honestly, like I have, even just today, my kids are 7 and 9, and I love to run. And this morning I got up and my son, half asleep's like, Daddy, are you going? My 7-year-old, he says, Daddy, can I go on your run with you? It was 26 degrees this morning. It was cold. And I'm like, buddy, it's not that warm out today. And he's like, I don't care. I'm like, all right, you want to go? Let's do it. And well, then our 9-year-old, my daughter, she's actually never that I can remember ever joined me on my 3-mile morning run. She heard that our son was going and she wanted to go. So, both of them went for me. So we did 3.5 miles, which was incredible. But we are learning so much even about our community, just bike riding.
Yes. Isn't that incredible? Yeah.
It's funny. When this was all getting started and I said, all right, we're going to be home, kids we can't, because of the whole shelter, we don't have a babysitter right now.
Yes.
And I made all these plans, like, all right, kids, we're going to redo your playroom.
Yes.
I've got a list of like 5 books I want to get through, but I have not, I love the show Shark Tank.
Yes.
I haven't caught an episode. It's just been so much time. I wish the weather was, a little bit better so we could get out more, but I'm telling you, like, between going on the bike ride and just making those memories and it's like, if anything's going to come out of this, I think it's that.
I think that's a great point.
It's people are just going to realize like what, the things that we kind of took for granted before. And I am very, very thankful that we have really awesome kids and they're very patient. Amazing. And thank goodness for iPads. It's great. And our teachers, they have been so actually
same here.
Right before this call with you, our son was on piano lesson. Both of our kids take piano lessons, and both of their piano lessons were done via Zoom. Our daughter today had a Zoom bingo with her classroom, and then she had a Zoom art class
I
this
like it.
afternoon.
I like
We
it.
just heard today that they're launching a Zoom choir for their choir
Oh
for
my
school,
God.
and I'm just like in my mind going,
You're
man,
getting a lot of value out of that subscription to
it
Zoom.
is. It
You're
is.
getting
I
a lot of
know. It
value. I
really
love it.
is. And
I love
so,
it.
little stuff like that, when it
Amazing.
does pass and we're able
Yeah.
to get back to a little bit of normalcy, like that's the one thing that, I would say to other leaders and to other parents and husbands, spouses is you don't want to look back at this pandemic and have any regrets,
No.
whether that, whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
will I have a regret if their toy room doesn't get done? No, I really
No.
won't. I'll get it. But will I have a
You'll have
regret that,
memories. You'll have some
our
great
kids,
memories to cherish.
if they want to go, on we have yet to miss a bike ride. Taking our dog, we have a 1.5-year-old yellow lab, and she's like, I think she's been in her crate like 3
Let me out.
times.
Let me out.
She's loving it, man. Like, so, the dogs of the
Right.
world are like, I don't know what's going on
Yeah,
here, but
this is
we are
great.
loving it.
This is great. Yeah, it's awesome.
So, but yeah, never. It's been good. And as
That's
far
good.
as
Well, they're great words. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great insight. That's a great insight.
And aside from that, just again keeping that communication with my leaders. We have pretty much a Zoom call every few days.
Amazing.
And just keeping up with what's going on. And right now, so we had a meeting today. We have our leadership team meeting, and right now our talk is, all right, how are we going to roll the cruise back out? What is the plans?
Yeah.
Do we have all the proper PPE?
Yeah.
Just ordered a huge allotment of masks and just things like that, because it's going to be the new normal.
You're preempting, you're future proofing.
It's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
and it's kind of the same thing when I come back to like the hurricane shutters going up.
Yeah.
If you're trying to put your hurricane shutters on when the Cat 5 is pounding,
Too
you're
late.
in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So really for us, it's by prepping early, I think we've been able to just get stuff accomplished quicker.
Amazing.
When there is a problem and
Awesome.
somebody needs help. It's
That's
not
great.
a stressful thing. It almost
Got
kind
it.
of gives us a reason to get out of the house, and for what better reason, right?
Yeah. That's great. Well, listen, this has been amazing. And I kind of, I know you, so I kind of guessed that we'd have a really a deep and meaningful call. So, and we have had, and your perspective on things, as ever, positive and forward looking, which is the way it should be. It's the way we should all be. And as you said, many times in your chat, it will pass. We all know that, but it's being mentally strong and saying, right, when it passes, am I ready as a business leader? Am I ready to take advantage of that? So when we post these videos, I'll kind of let you know. But it's been a pleasure to talk to you. We're going to tag you when we post. And if you can, and we'll send you the video as well. If you can post it as well.
I will.
I want to thank you for getting on the call. You'll be one of the. I don't know how many people we're going to get through, because we've got a lot of people who want to do it now. I think when people see you on and see other people on, they'll want to do it too. Hey, I want to talk. But if we can connect people and connect people with you, and introduce people inspirational people like you to our audience, that's a win-win for us. So I want to say stay safe.
Yes.
And I hope to talk to you and have that craft beer, that IPA.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
When you have your opening, hopefully
we'll have them ready as soon as you can pass through the board with my brother. So all right, man. Thanks, Alan, for the opportunity.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
My friend.
Take care. Have a great day. Bye.
You too.